live review. Let me just get my screen right there. Where are we? Maybe I've got to, mate. No, I've got to move that way. All right, so forgive me for being a little bit late. Now, this is a little bit new to me because I'm straight on YouTube here. I'm not actually on my usual computer with my software, so I am on my iPad. So let's hope that you can hear me okay. All right, yeah, again, apologies for being late. I had probably an hour train ride. Let me just get that there. That's probably better. I'm going to move that way. And then went about 10 minutes in the wrong direction when I got off the train. All right, so you would have seen the fights for the last couple of nights. This is just a review of those fights, the fight cards last night. Of course, Katie Taylor with the unanimous decision over Amanda Serrano. Shenica Johnson getting the win over Metcalf, and heaps of others. Then tonight, what did you think of it? What did you think of the fights themselves? I'm going to go through them individually, and as always, just give me your feedback. What time is it over there at the moment? It is, what is it, 2:47 p.m. At the moment, it is 12:47 in the AM here. So give me your thoughts. Now, I can't actually get anyone on live because the program. I don't know how to work the YouTube thing. I don't think it's actually possible. But anyway, I'll give my reviews anyway and give me your thoughts as it is, just in the chat there as always. Now, I'm going to go to the cards and we'll go through them. Just a ripper card tonight. I thought it was really good. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a fizzer at the main event. It started off slow, didn't it? It was really slow. And then round 4, it was all over. Let me go to, where is it? What's her name? Katie Taylor. I'll go to all the fights. Now, I won't lie. Last night's fights were difficult at in some stages. Look, the females do a really, really good job, but sometimes it can be a hard watch because sometimes there's not going to be a knockout. No one's going to get hurt. It's just the pity pat the whole way. But look, some guys' fights can be the same as well, I suppose. So it's not a new thing. I'll just bring up last night's card and we'll go through it. I think I missed the first one. Was it a first round knockout to the Canadian girl? Let's hope I can actually get this up here. All right, where are we? Come on, come on. So give me your thoughts there, guys. What did you think of last night's fights for starters? Who stole the show? I know it's all going to be about Next, which was great. Well, we might just start on her fight, actually. I just thought, look, she fought exactly the right fight. She came out really hard. She got behind that really hard, really strong jab, which I think she's obviously trained, because in the first round, she's went out, she's pumped hard jab after hard jab after hard jab, really got Metcalf on the back foot. And I just think she dominated it for the whole fight. I just think it was really one-sided. It was, I'd maybe struggle to give Metcalf a round. I don't know what's going on with this stupid box rec, by the way. I think I can remember them anyway. I should be able to go off social media, but it's just, there we go. Come on, verify me. This new thing on box rec, you've got to be verified. All right, so yeah, I just thought with Neeks, look, she started strong. I just think she put all the pressure on that she needed to. Metcalf just couldn't handle it. I just thought it was just all one-way traffic. And as I said, I don't think she won more than 1, maybe 2 rounds. We couldn't tell in the arena what happened with the referee. Now, after I did the video, I had so many people send me the vision of the referee saying, the doctor saying, I'm worried about how she's reacting to the punches or something. I cannot get my head around that. It is a world title fight, and you've got 2 girls that have trained hard and, putting everything into it, and one fighter's doing more than the other, dominate. Well, Shenica was winning the fight, but I can't believe that the doctor would then say, yeah, I don't really like the way you react to getting hit. I mean, how are you supposed to react to getting hit? There's no easy way to do it. So it just staggered me. Now, make no mistake, it was all going to go one way. Shenica was going to probably end up stopping her anyway, or win a really dominant sort of decision win, I thought. So, yeah, congratulations to her. She fought a great fight. did everything that she had to do, and did something that, well, I think it's still arguable. I'm not really sort of picking at things here. I know they said it's the first undisputed champion. Look, I still regard George Kambosos as our first undisputed champion. I know it was Devin Haney had a version of it, but he beat the undisputed champion in Loma, had all the belts, the ring belt as well. So I look, this whole email belt sort of thing, I don't get it. I don't understand it. For me, George Kambosos was the first undisputed, but it doesn't matter. She's the first female. Does it really matter? It doesn't, does it? So, but yeah, congratulations to her, and she's Australia proud. I thought she might have actually won the $250,000, the bonus. I thought she fought well enough. I know there's some other good fighters on the card. I finally got it up here. So Tam Tearbelt, I think is how you pronounce it, with a stoppage over Mary Casamassa. I missed that one. I didn't see that one. The second one was interesting. That was Ramla Ali and Leila Furtado. I actually thought Leila Furtado won that fight. Ramla Ali, you probably didn't see it at the weigh-in. She was all, as they all are, all razzmatazz and carrying on and dancing and talking smack and everything else, and they're the ones that had the really intense face-off. This is the second fight on the undercard, and the face-off, they had to be separated anyway. But the scores aren't on BoxRec, which is typical. But Ramla Ali with the win. As I said, I thought Leila Furtado did more than enough to win that fight. But anyway, again, guys, if you've got some comments about the fights, let me know. And what have we got there? Hang on. What the hell is that? We got a few bots or something in there, have we? I'll just disregard them anyway. All right, the next fight, Chantel Cameron, Jessica Kamara. Really impressed by Chantel Cameron, and I think she did really well considering that I think she only got to New York the day before the weigh-in, which is just crazy. So I'm not sure they've got the results, the scorecards there. No, they haven't. But yeah, really impressed with Chantel Cameron. Really actually surprised she was so far down the card, considering she's actually had a win over Katie Taylor. So she'll be, who knows, maybe she'll get the trilogy fight with Katie Taylor, and Katie will retire, who knows. But I thought Chantel Cameron looked really good. We've gone over next. Ali Scottney. I think she was probably the most impressive fighter on the card. With that win over Yamalith Mercado. I think, and Mercado can fight. She's a really good fighter. Mexicans, of course, all good fighters, are always tough. I thought Ali Scottney was really, really impressive. And even though, as I said, I think Shenica should have probably got the 250, I think Ali Scottney overall was the most impressive looking fighter on the card. I just think she's so well balanced. She can punch with, well, not punch, but she leads well with either hand. And very, very good technique. So yeah, no wonder she had a win over Shenica, because she can fight. Really, really good fight. The Savannah Marshall Shadesia Green fight. I know Shadesia Green got the 250. I don't know. I just thought it was a so-so fight. I thought, look, there was a few people thought that Savannah Marshall won, and including her. Look, I thought it was close enough to go either way. I thought Savannah Marshall maybe won a lot of the early rounds, but I thought overall that it was touch and go. I just thought it was. We've got some. Where are we? Yeah. I don't know who some of these guys are. Please shout out. Is that Marija Horvat? Hello. Yep. To you. I don't know who the rest of you guys are. Yeah, so look, could have gone either way. Again, I don't think the decisions, the scorecards are actually on there. No, as usual, they're not. All right, so, or is it? No, I'll go back. All right. Anyway, I thought Savannah Marshall, look, it was close. It was close, but I think Shadesia Green, and I really, look, I think if you're looking at who had the best after-match interview, it was Shadesia Green. Gee, she was good. Just so humble. I was a little bit worried because at the weigh-in, like a lot of them do, it's yap, 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 yap. I thought she handled herself really well. Very thankful to everyone. Thank the trainers and managers and everything for putting her up in an apartment and getting behind her. I just thought it was great. I went quickly out to get a bottle of water while they were interviewing Savannah Marshall. I heard a lot of boo, so I'm assuming that what she said didn't go down too well. But look, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you lose well, and sometimes you don't. She obviously didn't. All right, and then the Alicia Baumgardner and Jennifer Miranda fight. Look, to be honest with you, I probably watched 2 rounds of the whole fight. I went out and got something to eat. Baumgartner doesn't really do much for me. Yeah, that fight really didn't excite me much at all. By all accounts, it was a little bit hit and miss anyway, excuse the pun. But yeah, I can't really comment on that because, you know, look, Baumgartner's a very, very good fighter. But yeah, I just I took the opportunity to go out and have a bit of a break to prepare for the big one. And Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. Well, what else can you say? I mean, just a masterclass by Katie Taylor. I was really, really surprised that Amanda Serrano fought the way she did. I think she did say afterwards that she was instructed to more take her time and don't rush in, and which is exactly what Katie Taylor wanted, wasn't it? So there's Peter in the chat. G'day, Peter. Welcome to the little review there, mate. I'm not sure how many we've got. There's not many well looks things. That's okay. I'm going to do my review anyway. But yeah, I just thought Amanda Serrano just fought the wrong fight. I think being that she'd lost the first 2 fights, and I know she was conscious about getting in another war, I get that, but I just thought she was just far too patient. I think Katie Taylor couldn't believe her luck at Amanda Serrano just pretty much just following around the ring and trying to I think what she said, she wanted more quality over quantity. That wasn't the way she was going to beat Katie Taylor. I think she had to go really after Katie Taylor and really start earlier this time rather than letting the fight go on and finishing strong like she has in the last 2 fights. But she was way too patient. She gave away too many early rounds, and Katie Taylor just didn't know. As I said, I don't think she could believe her luck that she was able just to box and move and poke and hold and move and twist and turn to her heart's content. And at the end of it, I know she had a little bit of a cut under or a mark under her eye. Amanda Serrano barely had a mark on her either, or a bruise. So it was just a disappointing end to the trilogy. I tell you what, though, the crowd was absolutely buzzing in there. It really was. And the entrance of Amanda Serrano was great. Katie Taylor's was a lot more low-key. No doubt you've seen it on the telecast. It was more low-key, but the whole Irish theme and everything, it was fantastic. It really was. But unfortunately, the fight just didn't deliver. I don't think it's a real fault to Katie Taylor. I think that's just the way she fights anyway. She's not really that crash and bash type of fighter. And she boxed the way I think we all know she can box. On her toes, in and out, really counters, really quick, more focusing on speed than power. And Amanda Serrano, who I've always thought really fights like a man, where she really likes to set her feet and go in hard. She just didn't do any of it. She just followed Katie Taylor around the ring and let her win an easy decision. What do you got there, Pete? Hang on, I'll bring up. This is, again, I'm on YouTube directly here without my software, so it's a little bit odd. All right, Glenn, how are you there, mate? Let us know your thoughts. Taylor put on a masterclass. Johnson had a great fight. Yeah, mate. Naz, how are you there, mate? Hang on, I've missed. What do we got there? They sort of vanish here. I'll bring them back up. All right. After the Ramla Ali fight, I thought, here we go, house fighters are on, but the rest of the fights were fairly judged. I think, yeah, I'm with you there, Naz. Look, I wouldn't say Furtado was ripped off, but I thought she won, if that makes sense. I thought Ali, look, I'm with you. I was a little bit worried about that as well, but I think it was close enough that it could have gone either way. And sometimes I don't blame the house fighter getting the result if it's really close. I don't mind, because you know what? The promoters are putting all the money and backing into these fighters, so I think they deserve just a fraction leniency. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of people assume that it's the promoters who choose the judges and everything else. Not the case. It's not the case. Judges are independent. I know I'm not even going to get into all the judges and how it operates, but I think overall it wasn't too bad anyway. But yeah, Katie Taylor, where to now? Yeah, well, I think she, as I said before, maybe the Chantel Cameron fight, and that's probably about it. I don't think she's got any more challenges. I just think the Chantel Cameron fight makes sense. They're one each. Whether Chantel Cameron can maybe bring enough to the table as far as appeal. If they did it back in England, it'd be probably huge. And then maybe call it a day, or maybe she just says, you know what, look, Chantel Cameron won the first fight. I reverse the result. I've now beaten Serrano 3 times. I think I'm well within my rights to go off into the sunset. And apparently she got $13.5 million. Look, and I said in the video yesterday, say all you want about Jake Paul. I mean, to pay the main event fighters $13.5 million each, that is just amazing. So I'm assuming the card, what's that, 27 between them. Look, the card probably cost them $35 million. just for the purses. So, I mean, that is a massive amount, considering that these girls look probably a little bit different since Katie Taylor come along with Eddie Hearn. He always, I think, looks after his girls, but the others would have been fighting for, probably $10,000-$20,000. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And I actually promoted Shenika's first, I think, 8 fights, and I can tell you what, she was probably lucky to be fighting for $5,000, and that's not me being stingy. That's just all the fights generated. What have we got here, Big J? Hang on, bring your comments up. I did see you've already put a review up, have you, Big J? I better watch it tomorrow at the airport. All right, Peter, did fake Paul look like he could handle appetite? Absolutely not, Peter. As the Poms say, mate, he's getting sparked out if he fights appetite. I actually saw Mick Francis at the fights tonight too, by the way. He actually sent me a ticket to go down. He was on the floor. I had great seats. I was right. If the tennis was being played, I was literally the front row, right in the corner. When I thought the fighters were coming out there, but it was only the officials and stuff. Although, having said that, I had Oscar and Devin Haney, and who else was there? Antonio Tava, and all the boys. The Sheik went past a few times as well. Turkey Al Sheik. So that was pretty good. So I had awesome seats. But he invited me down to sit on the floor. But I said, mate, I'm staying here. I think my seats are actually better than yours. Sometimes it's all about, it's great to be on the floor, but you can't see shit. So you've got to be sort of one level up, and I was just perfect. It was great. What else have we got there? Sorry about these two guys. Unlike my software, the comments just disappear. I actually prefer this fight between Serrano and Taylor. Okay, much more skill and IQ. Taylor's check left hook could miss. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it, Naz. I suppose we all just want the bash and crash type of fights, don't we? But I suppose if you're looking at it technically, you're probably right. It probably was the best fight. Naz, never want to see Jake Paul fight again as a promoter. I'm happy to watch, but he's putting on. I hope he sticks with that side of it. Yeah, and you just see his comments afterwards. And a similar thing happened to me. If you didn't see it, the reporter said, how did he feel about with the ring girls, being an all-female card, do you think it was a bit, I can't remember what he said, but something about the ring girls and maybe they should have had ring guys. And he's like, mate, what the hell are you talking about in no uncertain terms? A little bit more colourful language than that. And I really felt for him because it happened to me when we promoted the Jeff Horn, Michael Zarafa fight in Bendigo. And the Bendigo advertiser ran me up for an interview. I thought they were ringing me up to put it on in the paper. And I had some smart-ass Sheila on there. Do we still call them Sheilas? Whatever. Some smart-ass woman say, do you think you're exploiting the ring girls and blah, 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 blah. And I ended up probably losing it a little bit and told her where to go, basically, and swore never to do another show in Bendigo after that. Because the girls are horrified. They really were. These are all models and dancers. They loved it. Actually, most of them actually approached me about being on the show. So it wasn't me going out there, with the whip and chain and dragging these girls off the street. This is the way I think sometimes they think we do it. And they contact us, and we always made them look beautifully dressed and everything else. And that's the best they could come up with. So yeah, wasn't happy about that. But yeah, Jake Paul's response, well done, Jake Paul. And you're right about his involvement in the sport, mate. He has done to female boxing what I didn't think was possible. To actually take it as a package, as a whole, and run with it and put it up in lights. He's done something I never thought we would see. And Amanda Serrano was actually probably one of his, I think, the first fighter, to actually sign with Jake Paul. So she knew what the deal was. And now, of course, he's pretty much got a monopoly on female boxing. And that's great because I think, unlike our old mate Turkey Al Sheik, who I think just sees it as a power trip, I think Jake Paul sees it as just almost his destiny to help women's boxing. And I think it's great. Now, what do I think of him as a professional male boxer? Well, that's a whole different story. Not much, I can tell you. But as a promoter behind women's boxing, and having done it myself, tried to get it going in Australia about 10 years ago, it's bloody difficult. It really is. It really is. Sorry, guys, it's a bit warm. I forgot to leave my air conditioner on. All right, what do we got there? I'll go back. I've got a couple of comments. Again, excuse me for doing this, but hang on, get off there. All right, here we go. Yes, okay. I missed a couple of comments. And I'll get to you in a sec, Big J. All right, these bloody announcers need to learn their history. Lionel Rose was the undisputed bantamweight champ before Shenika's dad was even born. I thought he only won the WBC belt, Big J. I thought it was only the WBC. Forgive my ignorance as well. Either way, look, back then, was there one belt? I don't think there was two belts back then, was there? I don't think the WBC, I think it was 63. So maybe it was. I don't know, mate, but you might be right. And I suppose if you want to count Costa Zoo in there as well, I know this is the 4-belt era. I get that. But as I said, I still see George Kambosos as the first undisputed champion. Let's just say he was the first male and Shenica was the first female. She got a pretty good run at it, though, didn't she, when you think about it, all things aside. And full credit to her, by the way, but she had the one belt. She got the late replacement to fight Metcalf, who had the other belt. And the girl she replaced had a baby and she had 2 belts, so she had to give up the 2 belts. So all of a sudden she just had 1 belt and nothing really on the horizon, and she's fighting a girl or a lady for all 4 belts. So hey, you got to take your chances though, and she did it. So good on her. Not trying to get to retirement happy here, but I kind of think for Serrano this is the last and final frontier. Hope she retires. I'm with you there, Drew. Who else is there? Could she fight maybe one of the girls? Just trying to look at maybe someone like, well, Alice Scotney might be a bit light for her now. Shanica's definitely a bit light. Chantel Cameron could be a fight for her, but then what? What's the end game? She's not going to get a shot at Katie Taylor, so maybe she takes her $13.5 million and goes away. Although, what does she have? She's had a lot of fights, hasn't she? 40 or nearly 50 fights, I think. She has 52 fights. That's crazy. So I think her job will be as to be the ambassador for female boxing. I think she'll be side by side riding shotgun with Jake Paul as the female ambassador, probably CEO of the women's portion of MVP or something like that. That's what I see from her. And you're right, maybe she's done enough. How long has Shenica been in Australia? I think she's been here most of her life, BJ. Most of her life. She did fight in the amateurs for Queensland as a junior. So maybe, she wouldn't have been very old at all, mate. So, although I must admit, I was a little bit pissed, when she's almost like they call it Australia/New Zealand. I don't think she's ever actually come out and said she's Australian and New Zealander combined. I think she's always promoted herself as being Australian. So either way, it's a good storyline anyway. I think Jake Paul said she was from New Zealand, didn't he? What's that? You obviously wouldn't have seen it being live, but I loved Dre Ward in commentary. I could listen to him all day. Yeah, no, I didn't hear 1 second of commentary, mate. I'll definitely see it at some stage. Matias Paulo fight was awesome. What did you think of the result? Look, I thought Matias did enough, Daniel. I know there's a lot of people thought Paulo won the fight, and maybe he did. Maybe on replay I'll change my mind. But on the night, I thought Paulo started really, really well. I thought, wow, he's going to school Matias. But just the way he goes about it, Matias, he just keeps at you all the time. And he just ground him down just round by round by round. I just think he finished a little stronger there, Daniel. Look, I wouldn't have argued if Paulo got the decision, but I wasn't unhappy with that. I would have had it maybe 7 rounds to 5 for Matias, but again, wouldn't have argued if Paulo had got it. It was that close. Peter, these left-wing tossers are trying to run their beliefs and stick it down your throat. Well, mate, the way Jake... I'll get my hand out there. Where is the camera anyway? It's right. Just so I can make sure I look at it. These iPads, I don't know. Where are we? Yeah, mate, well, the way Jake Paul handled it was fantastic, mate. And didn't even give him any air at all. Just, mate, you are a toss. So, get off. Leave it up to the... who's his partner anyway, by the way? He just constantly talks and interrupts, mate. No one wants to talk to you. Jake Paul's the man. Just get up there, wear your flash suits, take your pictures, and exit stage left. No one cares about you, whatever his name is. Do you think BERLANGA will go on another losing tour? Probably, Sam. I just said in my video before, mate. Just a pretender. I don't like to badmouth any fighter at that level, but this guy is just a fraud. He really is. And I probably don't mind saying it because he's put himself out there as this gangster wannabe hard-ass guy with the tats and the jewelry and the persona and shooting imaginary guns at SHEERAZ. Just an idiot, fair income. So he got what was coming to him. I don't mind laying the boots into someone like that who's brought it upon himself. If he had been humble and gotten beaten, I wouldn't say, oh shit, hang on, there goes my shit, there's the iPad. Sorry about that. I wouldn't be anywhere near as critical, but look, mate, the way he carried on the other day with Oscar De La Hoya, I think it was embarrassing. And geez, he wouldn't be he'd be laughing his ass off tonight, wouldn't he? But yeah, mate, sometimes karma comes around and hits you really hard, and in his on his account, in his situation, 3 different times, wasn't it, that he got bashed? Just looks shocking. He's just not at the level. Thinks he's at the level, but he's not. I'm just going to type in tonight's fight. I'll type in Edgar Berlanga's name so I'll bring up the card. Keep those comments coming there too, guys. As I said, this is why I've decided to do it live so I can have a bit of feedback from you guys. Lionel beat Harada for the WBC, WBA and ring belts in February of 1968. Yeah, do you think they'd probably mean 4 belts, Big J? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really get caught up in all, this stuff they keep going on with. Either way, hey, just full credit to her. I don't really think it matters. But I still think George was the first. Anyway, just saying. Okay. All right, Matias and Morell got gift decisions. Okay, Shakur actually really impressed me tonight, and the SHEERAZ demolition of Edgar further highlights Canelo's decline. Yeah, well, different types of fighters. Again, I don't think Hamza SHEERAZ looked particularly good up until he landed those punches, to be honest. I looked for the first 3 rounds. He looked pretty average, to be honest. No, was what I think he knocked him down in the 3rd round, didn't he? Either way. Yeah, look, I just think more than anything, Glenn, that Canelo's just more cautious in his old age. I think that's what it is. Obviously, he's going to decline. He's, nearly mid-30s. He's been around a long time. But I just think he's just been cautious these days, and that's probably why it doesn't look overly impressive. And I think I've said before, don't read too much into his fight with School, thinking about the Crawford fight, because I think we're going to see someone's a little bit more switched on. When you're fighting at 7 o'clock in the morning in a foreign country, with no one in the crowd, must be pretty hard. And an opponent doesn't want to fight. So I haven't got a real problem with it. He's on decline, make no mistake about it. But yeah, I don't think SHEERAZ was that good either, to be honest. I just think he caught Berlanga. Berlanga's obviously a pretty average fighter. Peter, unfortunately, when Taylor talks, you can tell she needs to stop and enjoy her life. She never really smiles a lot, does she? She doesn't seem very happy. Katie Taylor. I just think she's a bit awkward. I just get the impression that growing up she would have been an awkward sort of girl. Probably a tomboy and probably struggling with her I suppose where she sits in the world. So, and she obviously found her calling in boxing, didn't she? So I don't know if it was a good move by Sky going down to Ellie Scott in his division. Much safer to go after Tiara Brown, I reckon. I'm with you, Naz. Ellie Scottney beats the shit out of Sky Nicholson, if you ask me. Ellie Scottney is a very, very good fighter. And I don't like to say that about the Aussies, but yeah, from what I've seen from Sky so far, and the way Tiara Brown and Ellie Scottney are different fighters, aren't they? But Ellie Scottney is just so talented. It's just, as I said before, so balanced. Just everything she throws, she's so on balance, and she can throw one. If she misses, she comes back with another one. Very, very good fighter. I heard Mike Coppinger saying Paulo will get another chance after Matias Dalton. Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, that's a good thing about Turki Al-Sheikh, isn't it? Explicit. He does like to reward fighters that put on good fights, and I think he'd be pretty happy with Shakur Stevenson tonight too, wouldn't he? I couldn't bring myself to pay for the ring card. How did Kadaev look? I watched Sean Zittles live, and he thought Morell was a bit lucky. He was very lucky, Naz. I thought, look, it was close. I'm not going to go into the whole robbery sort of thing. I thought Kadaev did enough to win. I thought he but you got to remember, like, I was sitting next to a guy, and he said, because he said to me, obviously, said g'day, and I said g'day, so of course he asked where I'm from, and I got talking to him about Kadaev being based in Australia and everything else with the Cambosises and everything. He said, yeah, who is this guy? He's probably the one that I thought had the longer odds. And I said, well, mate, in Australia, there was a lot of people, including me, gave him a massive chance for the upset. And he was really impressed by Kadaev. But I'm not surprised that Morell got the decision. Yeah, if I'm being honest. I think that Kadaev, in my opinion, won the fight. But it's not. I'm not surprised at all that they gave it to Morell. I mean, he is the A-side fighter. We're looking at big fights for him down the track. Because I tell you what would be a ripper though is Karaev and Conor Wallace, wouldn't it? Not going to happen, by the way, because Conor Wallace is probably going to fight. Is it Michael Efert or whatever his name is for the vacant IBF belt? I think it was. So don't think that's going to happen very quickly, or very soon. But he's very impressive, Karaev. It's just his style though. I don't think sort of enlightens himself to judges, where there's not really sort of any setting up punches and using jabs and feints and all this sort of stuff. He just stands in front of you and just waits for his chance and then just goes bang, bang. He fights a lot like the other Chechens, I suppose, doesn't he? Beterbiev and Murtazaliev and these types of guys. They're just punches. Just tough guys. Actually, on that too, I had dinner last night with my mate Eddie that you'll see in the next video and I'll put out soon. And we ran into Russ Amber, who was in the corner, his cut man. He's the head of Rival Boxing. And he was in Neeks' corner last night and I was talking to him, and he was actually in the corner for Murtazaliev against Tim Tszyu. And it was interesting just to get his take on what they thought of the fight and Tim and everything going into the fight. And they were let's just say they were very, very confident of beating Tim. He didn't go into too much, but he said, look, we knew his deficiencies. We knew we could beat him. And it was no surprise that they blew Tim away. So it was actually surprising to hear him pretty much shrug off the win as, yeah, well, we expected it. He's not that good. That was sort of the way he spoke to me. Not his exact words, by the way, but that's the impression that I got, that they didn't really rate Tim, which really surprised me. Oh, yeah, can't wait for the clapback here. That'll be an epic one. How are we feeling about the Tszyu Fundora fight, and they have Tim as $1.70 favourite in Australia? Yeah, look, no surprise, Peter. They've got him favourite in Australia. When I get to Vegas, I'll let you know. I'll see what the feel is over there and the odds and all that sort of stuff. Look, Tim is a bit of like a national hero here, I'm not here, am I? I'm in America. Over there, across the pond in Australia, Tim's a national hero, so of course people are going to bet on him. But it'd be interesting to see what the odds are in Vegas. I'll let you know, Peter. I might do a chat before the fight. Talking about Crawford, he was interviewed after the fight and looks bloody big. Yeah, he walked past me a couple of times. I've got a little bit of footage of him. And he does look big, Glenn, that's for sure. I just hope he doesn't beef up too much. I hope he just concentrates a bit more on speed and everything rather than just bulking up. What's that? Canelo will bully and school Crawford? All right, it's a bit early in the morning for me to get into arguments on here, but I'm sure Glenn will disagree. Glenn will disagree, no doubt. I wasn't too impressed with Savannah Marshall. She seemed to fade badly down the stretch. Also, I don't think she uses her rich enough on the jab. Credit to Green. Yeah, it's a good point there, Drew. I just don't think Savannah Marshall just looks totally invested. I just think she does it because she just can't be bothered doing anything else. That's the impression I get from her. She's just a bit casual. Now, I don't know her. I mean, I have no idea, but she just looks like, just in her interviews and at the weigh-ins, just like, whatever. You know, at the weigh-in, couldn't get a rise out of her. She weighed in. There was no, like, yeah, you know, like a lot of them do, and the face-off and all the rest of it, and any trash talking or just nothing. There's no spark. She's just like, yeah, whatever. You know, she probably just can't be bothered doing anything else and just wants to keep fighting. So good on her. Again, I don't know her, so I probably shouldn't comment, but that's the impression I get from her anyway. And I think it just sort of crossed over into a boxing last night too. Trevor, I was impressed with the Ring 3 card, and the fighters all seemed to turn up. Some decisions were controversial, but it was entertainment plus. Good to see you in live. And yeah, thanks, Trevor. Just thought I'd do something a bit different. We'll get on to the fights in a minute. I'll get through these comments. What's that, Ado? How are you coping without the spectacles? Not well, Ado. It's been tough, if I'm being honest. I've been sort of lucky, like especially tonight. I was close enough, but I'm sort of trying to squint and I can't read anything, and yeah, not great. But I'll just keep hanging in there, Ado. I'd love to know what I did with them. I think I left them in the lounge at the airport from memory, but anyway. Still with Ado, really thought Paulo weathered the storm with Matias in the earlier rounds and got on top of him with the crisper punches as the fight went on, and Matias tired. Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. As I said, mate, I thought, look, again, I've said a few times, it's really hard when you're watching it live. You'd think it'd be a lot easier, but I really struggle to get a definitive feel on the fight, unless it's really one-sided. I'm like, is he doing enough? Is he not doing enough? You know, I go, geez, he got ripped, and then everyone online saying, no, the other bloke won easy. So it's really tough. But I must admit, mate, more to the eye, not that I've got my glasses, remember, I actually thought that Paulo started really strong. Matias in the middle rounds just started to get on top, and I just thought Paulo looked like I thought Paulo was the one that started the tyre. Yeah, look, either way, mate, a great fight, really good fight. What's that, Naz? We're about to go to puppy school, so I'll have to watch the rest later. Thanks for all the content. We're over there, mate. Look forward to it every day. No worries, Naz. Well, I'm about to load the first, was it episode 4 after we finish tonight, so keep a lookout for it. Go to a drugstore and buy a cheap pair. Can you do that, can you? You just go buy a pair of glasses. Don't they have to have prescriptions or something? Next week on the 19th will be my favourite weekend of boxing for the year so far. So much to look forward to. Yeah, no, it certainly is, mate. So what have we got? So Tim and Manny, we've got Bam Rodriguez, and then, of course, Usyk and Fury, which I'm really happy about. I think it's on at 11 o'clock in the morning in Vegas. So I'm very happy about that, because it's probably on at, in the early hours over there, isn't it? Your filming at Madison Square Garden was awesome. Really captured. Oh, thanks, mate. Really captured the atmosphere. We'll see what tonight's like. A bit hard on the phone because I can't take. I've got my camera here. I can't take my camera into the fights because they don't allow outside cameras in. My argument in the past has been, well, mate, this is my camera. This is my camera. It's no different to my phone. It's a 4K camera. So what's the difference between bringing my phone in and bringing my camera in? And I remember the guy saying, you just can't bring it in. And he couldn't answer the question. I said, mate, it's either bring this in or bring this in. Either way, I'm bringing a video camera in and I'm going to be videotaping. So, you know, and he wouldn't let me take it in. I had to rush and check it in at the where they put the coats and all that. So, hey, there's D-Style away there, mate. What time is it where you are? It's 1:25 here in the morning. I said, if your eyes aren't too bad, you might get a pair that will help you read. Nah, it's all good, mate. I'll survive. I don't wear them reading anyway, Peter. I must be, is it long-sighted? I can't wear them reading. They're more for driving and watching TV. So I must be long-sighted, I think, aren't I? So, but yeah, if I put them on reading, I'd be like that. So 11:23 p.m. SHEERAZ made me awake. Yeah, I got your message before, mate. I was exactly the same. I thought, I was hoping sort of Zapata might beat Shakur Stevenson, but how good was he? Just a dominant performance. And I just won't wear when people say he's a runner, because he's not. Just like I didn't wear, I mean, a few times he you know, oh, hang on, that's, a few times, you know, he did have a bit of a skip around, but I thought overall he was fantastic. I've just got to message my wife, Tara, by the way. I forgot to tell her I was back at the hotel. So if you're watching, Tara, hello. She'll probably jump on after she gets my message. There you go. I'll just send that to her. There you go. This is the thing with live TV. I'm getting text messages from my wife saying, where the hell are you? All right. Let's get into the fights then. All right, so on to, oh, hang on, is that a comment from you there, D-Style? Where are you? Stupid chat thing, where are we? Box well on the inside, Shakur, proof he doesn't need to be doing all the holding he's done in other fights. Yeah, it's a good call there, D-Style. Might have to buy a pair of binoculars for the experience. I might, mate. I might. I thought, geez, Suzumi, the Japanese fighter, I know he didn't have much to beat, but geez, he looked good. He's a good little fighter. I didn't see Muhammad Alikal and Placido, is that his name? Hoff. Didn't see that one. But yeah, Suzumi, just a regulation, what was it? Probably should have been a first round knockout. For starters, but ended up being a second round knockout. He's impressive, but again, we'll see how he looks against someone with a pulse. Yeah, as I said, I thought Katayev definitely won the fight against Morell, but not surprised Morell got it. Just as I said before, I just think he needs to, I know it's not their style, but maybe a jab to the head or a jab to the body or something. It's just like, well, I'm just going to get as close as I can and I'm just going to club you to death. That's just the way they fight. I think Morell was surprised, though, by the power and ability of Kataev. I just think, probably like a lot of the people in the audience, they thought it was just going to be a regulation comeback win for Morell. And I said to the guy sitting next to me, I said I was really surprised that Morell's team took the fight with Kataev. But I'm not surprised that Kataev took the opportunity to fight David Morell, because he can fight. I know he didn't look overly great in his last fight, Kataev, but geez, he looked really good tonight. And he'll get some better fights, or more good fights. I did see he was at ringside and Turkey Al-Sheikh gave him a big hug. So the odds are that they'll have him back, I would say. We've been over Paulo and Matias. I'm not sure whether they've got the official scorecards there, actually. We'll see if they're on BoxRec. I think they were... No, I haven't got them yet. Yeah, I'm not sure what the actual cards were from memory, but was it a split decision, wasn't it? Or one was a draw or something that I can't remember. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Again, I'll have to look at the replay. But the fight for me was Stevenson. I just thought he looked so impressive. Zapata, look, typical sort of Mexican style, I suppose. The thing is with both guys is that if Stevenson had a bit of power in his punches, he'd be knocking blokes over left, right, and centre. He's got such speed and timing, precision. And Zapata, on the other hand, he's just tough as nails, but he's not a big puncher. He's more a volume puncher to get his guys out of there. So I thought the way the fight started in the first sort of 4 or 5 rounds, we were definitely going to get a stoppage. One of them was going to go down, but the problem was that Shakur Stevenson's got those brittle hands, so he was never going to knock out Zapata. On the other hand, Zapata just really, I mean, he did lay some good punches on Stevenson, but just he hasn't really got a lot of pep in his punches either. So I just thought the fight fizzled out just a little bit, Stevenson Zapata, but just still a great fight, really good fight. Very similar, I thought, to Paulo and Matias, the way it sort of panned out. So that D-style, SHEERAZ looked huge. I'll be honest, once Canelo fights Crawford, probably best he calls of a day, an amazing career. These guys are huge. Eventually one of them will beat him, yeah. Good call there, D-style. I'm sure you got a review out already, have you? I'll have to check it out on YouTube. People seem to get all up in the feelings when a master boxer like Shakur boxes someone to pieces. The runner tag is too easily used. To fans who suffer sour grapes. Mayweather got the tag too. Yeah, I'm with you there, Drew. I always said the same thing about Mayweather as well. I know there were probably some stages where he might have got on the back foot just a little bit, but I don't think he ever run. Watch the Canelo fight again. There's a lot of that fight where he's backing Canelo up. Pacquiao even, he took centre ring a lot of the times. He was just too good. And I think Stevenson was the same tonight. I don't think he ran at all. The first time he got on his bike just a little bit, the crowd started to boo, which I think was a little bit unfair. But I think for someone that was in front of such a tough, hard guy in Zapata, I thought that he boxed really, really well. And as I said, if he had some oomph in his punches, he would have got Zapata out of there. Geez, both the guys landed some big punches. And then, yeah, the main event, BERLANGA and SHEERAZ. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger fraud in boxing than Edgar BERLANGA. Just a typical wannabe gangster, tough guy, and he got found out. And again, I don't think SHEERAZ looked that great, to be honest. And I know, and look, one thing I will say about him, he was very impressive in the post-fight interview. He, what's that there, D? Oh, yeah, okay, thoughts on BERLANGA is losing on Instagram. All right, guys, if you haven't seen that, make sure you get on D-Style's Instagram. Need to grow Insta a bit. I've got no idea how many we've got. I don't think it's many. Yeah, Glenn, total tool. Yeah, just the way he carries on, mate. There's just no reason for it. And the way he carried on against Oscar De La Hoya, I mean, that was just ridiculous. But the thing is, like someone said before, there'll be an epic clapback coming. Oscar was in really good spirits tonight too. He walked past me a few times, and everyone sort of mobbed him and ran down. He tried to get as many photos as he could. Devin Haney walked past. Terence Crawford did as well, because what was sort of happening, because I had the tunnel there, so everyone would just congregate there and they'd walk up there, and if they were lucky enough, they'd get an autograph, whatever it was. Or actually, they don't do autographs anymore, do they? It's all selfies. But Eddie Hearn got mobbed a couple of times, and Terence Crawford was good. He just said, look, guys, I'll come back later to see how we go. And everyone was pretty good. He was polite. Oscar took a lot of photos. A couple of the others did as well. I think Teddy Atlas come over and a few of the other guys come over. But the one that was I thought, look at this guy. Well, he was Devin Haney. He just didn't want to give anyone anything. He had his bodyguard in front of him, the one that had the altercation with Brian Norman the other day. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Devin Haney either, to be honest. He's got the singlet on and all the bling and that sort of stuff. I mean, anyway, that's just I'm definitely a bit old school, I think. Oh, there we go. SHEERAZ, on the other hand, very classy, intelligent, and very marketable. Yeah, I was just going to say, Glenn, the after fight interview I thought was really impressive by SHEERAZ. He said, "Look, I just really appreciate being mentioned in the same conversation as Canelo. He said he was a hero of mine growing up, and he said be honoured to share the ring with him, and that's what I like to hear. I know the promoters aren't going to really want to hear it, but I like it, and I'm just one of the type of persons or people. I'm sure there's a few of you out there in the same boat. I don't need the push and shove and all the ridiculous shit that goes on, a la Edgar Berlanga and even Crawford and Canelo. Just let the fighting do the talking for you." So what's that there? Oscar already sent his love letter to Berlanga in the blonde wig. I did. Okay, all right, I'll check it out a bit later. All right, guys, make sure you do that. I'm sure it's funny. Yeah. Anyway, you were my hero growing up is a very clever way of calling someone old. Yeah, that's not bad, D-Style. It's pretty good. But yeah, no, I think he spoke really well and just very respectful. And I like to see it. The one thing I'll say is, how the hell did this guy make 160? He is massive. Absolutely huge, and even at 168 he's massive, and you could see Berlanga like, Jesus, this guy's like a beanpole. He's got sort of skinny legs, but he's so big, amazing. I'd like to actually see what weight he actually comes in at on fight night. It'd have to be around 190 to 200, I would probably think. Yeah, he's a mega tool, all right, Glenn. I think Crawford has a big chance to beat Canelo. Yeah, no, he has a massive chance, profits, but I'm not really... Look, I'll be honest with you, so far with the fight, I'm sure it'll change and all the excitement leading up to it, I'm just not that excited about the fight. I don't know what it is. I just think it's a manufactured fight. I don't think Canelo wants the fight. I think he'd rather fight... Well, there's not really many other people to fight, is there? But I don't think he's particularly excited about it. I think he's just been told he's got to fight Canelo, and when his almighty or whatever his name is, the Turk, starts to put money in front of him, of course he's going to accept it and do whatever he's told. He's going to dance. Oh, that's the screen again. So he's going to dance, isn't he? There we go. SHEERAZ looks really skinny at 168. Surprised me. He'll end up at 175 for sure. Yeah, as I said, mate, I cannot believe he made 160. I'll tell you what, though, here's another thing for you with Turki Al Sheikh. Is it just me, or it just bugs me a bit? Where did you see when he was up with Matias and Paulo, and after the fight, and he said to Matias, I couldn't sort of hear a lot what was being said, and I think it was all being translated and everything. He said, "You will fight in whatever it is Riyadh sees." Like, hey mate, just relax. I know, but it reminds me of like Dad, like they're all his kids, and he's saying you'll do this and you'll do that and you'll shut up and you'll mind your manners. I don't like it. You should have seen the way they're all pandering to him at ringside. I know he brings the money and all the rest of it, but it's almost sickening to see the way they all just pander over him. It really is. He sits at ringside, right in the front row with that idiot from the Ring magazine beside him, the dickwad in the glasses and the hat. I was watching him almost hanging around like a little puppy dog he was. It was almost like he had his 10-year-old son with him, with Turki Al Sheikh. He's like, no. I saw him say, sit down, like, son, sit down. Oh, okay, I'll sit down. All right. Same here. Haney is a show pony. Ryan Garcia brought him back to earth. There he did. Yep, not a fan of Haney, mate. Oscar in a week laughing that SHEERAZ did to Berlanga what Canelo Alvarez couldn't do. As I said, Double G, he looked in really good spirits at the fights. He looks in really good condition too. But he looked happy. He looked happy. He come in with his missus. I felt sorry for her a little bit because she just got told to sort of stand to the side. She's sort of sitting there looking at her watch while he's over there for about 20 minutes taking selfies. Profits, I hope Tim gets the job done against Fundora. Crawford holding Turkey's hand. I did see that. They said afterwards that Turkey told Paulo he will fight the winner of Matias and Dalton. Okay, yeah. Look, end of the day, I know I'm being a bit picky with Turkey Al Sheik, but I was just watching him thinking, because he was just over for me at ringside. Didn't have the Sheik stuff on, he just had a cap. And, everyone over there, and they're all, wanting to kiss his ring and get a hug and get a selfie and get his approval for anything they were doing. It's not good. Having said that, though, the card was great. So anyway, all right. So I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes, guys, and I'm going to call it a night. So I just wanted to come on for an hour. All right. I want to jump on and see all the social media posts and all that too as well. I've seen nothing. I literally got off the train and straight back to here. I agree with you on Turkey. He legit thinks he's got. He does double G. This is the thing. He the way he walks around and the way he talks to people, and it's sickening to see the likes of Mauricio Suleiman there. Eddie. Actually, Eddie wasn't too. I didn't see Oscar over with him, which was funny. Eddie was sitting next to him. Frank Warren was sitting next to him for most of the night, actually, next to Turkey. He would have been told to sit there, of course, being SHEERAZ's... Is he SHEERAZ's promoter? He is, isn't he? Yeah, he is. Yes. But I didn't see Oscar. I saw Oscar over there talking to a lot of people, because it's really funny, because all I do is I sit there in between the fights and people watch. That's all I do. So, and I just was watching... What's that there? And I was just watching everyone, and it's just a big love fest. They all they all hug each other and getting selfies, and it's all about who you're talking to and who you're being seen with, and it's pretty funny actually. It's one big status contest, and look, I know there's massive money at stake in all the fights and everything else. I understand that, but I just can't help it. Sort of just people watch them all, thinking. You're not getting much love there, mate. You better go and, yeah, there he is. Congratulations, mate. Someone's come over and shaking your hand. And what's that? Turkey Shadow Boxing when the camera panned in ringside is pure. I was waiting for someone to say that too. That was talk about cringe there. Who was that? Ado. Yeah, jeez. You see the way you sort of... Can you get a decent feed over there? Oh, you're looking at my social media there, mate. Yeah, I haven't been too bad, although the last couple of nights has been stadium food, unfortunately, mate. I do eat okay. Like you'll see me eat something really bad, but I always try and balance it out in the next meal. So tonight wasn't great because I had those pancakes or waffles for lunch. And then tonight I just had some chicken tenders. That's all I sort of had, to be honest. And last night I had popcorn and a bit of pizza. So I was going well. And then a bit of New York cheesecake afterwards when I had a coffee with Eddie and that. So, yeah, I know, mate. As I said, I do, the first few days I tend to go hard and then I get so sick of food. By the end of the trip, I don't really barely eat. Most of the time I'll get up and have a coffee and a muffin or something, and that's it for me for the day. But yeah, I better stop posting my food because my wife says the same thing. What are you eating over there? So, but anyway. All right. Hey, what's the footy scores, guys? Are we any? I haven't even checked them. This is the AFL I'm talking about. Let me have a look. No, not coming up. Of course they're not. The AFL site's crashed. No, there we go. Who's won the footy? Melbourne, Sydney. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Keep some. What's that? 105 over the Roos. Okay. All right, so just a bit of a recap of what I'm up to, guys. I'm off to Albuquerque tomorrow, and then I'm staying there overnight, and then Dragons lost again. Who'd they lose to, Glenn? How's the Storm going? The mighty Storm, 31-12, Swans in front of Saints. Okay. So I'm staying overnight in Albuquerque, and then I'm heading down to Tombstone. Of course, you'll probably know about Tombstone, and it's a 6-hour drive from Albuquerque, so I'm not really looking forward to that. G'day, Richard. How you going there, mate? And then flying to Vegas from there. So I think I'll get to Vegas Wednesday afternoon. So it would be really good. I'm going to try and catch up with Glenn Jennings while I'm there as well. he messaged me the other day about something. I can't remember what it was, and said that, well, what's that? Roosters Storm going really well, top 4 at this stage. Go the Storm. So yeah, I'll try and catch up with Glenn. I'm trying to think what else I'll do. I'll just see what happens. Look, the thing is, it's 43 degrees every single day that I'm there, so the odds are I won't be doing much. I'll be staying inside the casinos pretty much all day, I would probably think. I'll probably sleep till lunchtime, go to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning. It's all good fun. Time doesn't exist in Vegas. That's what I love about it. It just doesn't exist. There's no clocks, no windows. It's just time stands still. So profits really time and states take time to smell the road. I'm trying to, mate. The problem is here in New York, it's not really worth smelling anything. Thanks, Richard. I tell you what, though, I was just thinking about when I was walking home tonight from the train station. I'm looking around and, look, I know it's just the world we live in at the moment, that homeless people sort of everywhere, sleep on the street. I know that's just life these days, but I'm looking around and the places, like you talk to most New Yorkers and they love their city. They're all very passionate about New York and being New Yorkers. But I'll tell you what, they don't take very good care of the city that they supposedly love really well. It's just filthy. Out the front, there's just people just dump rubbish and just whatever they can just on the footpath, and it just doesn't get picked up. And you just see the homeless people. I know, again, you can't do much about that. It just, I'd like to help them if I could, but you can't help anyone. If I got some cash, I'll always do the best I can. But it's just really sad to see the amount of people just living on the streets, and the amount of people I've seen who are pretty much frozen. When they're on drugs, whatever that is, it the fentanyl, whatever they take, and they freeze so that they look like statues. Like they're just sort of eyes closed and they're sort of frozen in time. It's just sad. I saw yesterday, I almost they had a dog, and these 2 stoners are off their face, and they looked like they were again frozen in time, and they had this poor little dog there with them, and I almost picked the dog up. I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do with a frigging dog in New York City? I just felt so sorry for it, but it's just life over here. But as I said, just the streets are dirty and filthy, and they smell, and there's just not a lot of pride in the city. I know it's the main tourist area and everything else, but what's that? How is the New York public? Yeah, it's not bad, Richard. It's I get sick of people, mate. Each to their own. I get sick of them. It's such a look. I know you got to get used to the hustle and bustle, and everywhere you walk, you got to go quick. No one's waits for you or lets you through, or at the lights with the walking thing. They may as well not exist, because people just walk straight through them, and the cars have to slam on brakes, and people just don't even look. They just keep walking. So you've got to be in a hurry. But people, they're just like you're in their way. Everyone's just, and Times Square is so busy. It really is. It's just bumper to bumper, and there's just shysters down there trying to rip you off for everything. And so that was what's good about today, and you'll see it in the video. Getting out, I went out to Harlem, Spanish Harlem with Eddie, and that was really good to get out into, I suppose, the real New York. But still, it's still filthy out there as well, and homeless people. But yeah, where I am here in the tourist area in Times Square, it's not. If you are going to come to New York one day, just stay out of town a little bit. Get the trains in. They're pretty easy, or very easy to work out. I just used Google Maps, and it told me exactly what station to go to, what train to get on, all that sort of stuff. It's $2.90. Now, tonight, I went out to Flushing Meadows, which is about a 45-minute, or might have been 50 minutes, whatever, train ride. I Ubered it, checked the Uber rate before I went, and it would have been nearly over. Oh, jeez. Sorry, guys. This thing keeps falling over. Would have easily been a $200 round trip. This is US, by the way. So it would have been 260, 270 Australian dollars round trip. And I got out there and back for $5.80 American, $2.90 each way. So if you come to New York, don't go to Ubers or taxis. Go on the trains everywhere. As I said, they're really easy to work out. And the good thing actually I found too, if you're unsure, there's always someone. They are pretty friendly. If you say, hey mate, what train do I need to get on? They'll always help you. But that would be my advice. Go out and stay out in Queens, where I was today, but I've stayed in Brooklyn before, and of course Manhattan. and get the trains into all those touristy areas, because you don't want to be staying there. It's good if you want to be amongst the midst of it, but not real good if you just want to have an enjoyable holiday and get away from, you know, the masses of people that are here. And because everyone's where I am in Times Square, they're all tourists. So you constantly just running into people, and they dawdle and they're looking around, and yeah, it was good to actually get out. And actually we went past where the plane landed in the Hudson. Eddie showed me where that was as well, where they landed and all the boats went out to get them and stuff. So that was pretty cool. There's all the stuff you don't sort of know if you just come here and just do the touristy stuff. So that's another thing. If you come to New York, get out of the touristy areas and experience it for yourself. All right. Yeah, no worries, Double G. All good, mate. Well, I think we're going to call it a night. That is it's been an hour. So I know it hasn't been overly exciting, but I just wanted to do a review of the fights and just sort of get a bit of feedback from you guys as well. And I'll do another one after the Tim and Manny card. So keep a lookout for that. I'll go back and do a live from the hotel room and get some feedback from you guys as well. So again, leave your, what's that there? Cheers, mate. You're on tomorrow night. No, I won't be on tomorrow night, mate. What's tomorrow night? It's Monday. No, probably not, mate. Hey, look, you never know. Maybe I will. I don't know. It depends on what time I get to Albuquerque and what. Oh no, hang on. What time is it over there? Hang on. It is nearly 4 o'clock. So it'll be in 3 hours' time. So in 3 hours' time here, it will be. What is it? It will be 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's a negative. I will not be on tomorrow night. you can take that to the bank. But I will be on, after Tim and Manny's fight on, so it'll be Sunday afternoon over there, won't it? So definitely do that for sure. All right, guys. No worries at all. Julian and Glenn and Trevor. No worries at all, guys. And Double G, Ado. As I said, it was only just a quick catch up, just to have a quick review of the fights and give my thoughts, and hear yours as well. So take it easy, guys, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Keep a look out for the vlogs, by the way. There's one coming up in the next hour or so as well. I'll get that fixed and all uploaded. But we'll do the next live next Sunday afternoon, your time, around the same time. So look forward to seeing you there. All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.